Okay, so we all know that recently Nintendo announced that Game Boy games and Game Boy Advance games were coming to Switch Online. And they did do it. However, there's something missing about it. I think you can tell by what I'm holding in my hand right now. Yes, they haven't said anything about ever adding Pokemon games to it. Which, to be fair, I actually don't think they're going to do it. And the reason, ever since the death of Iwata, Nintendo's been making a lot of very stupid decisions. Seriously, if Iwata were still alive, the Dexit probably wouldn't have happened. In fact, I'm sure Iwata is flipping off Furukawa from heaven. Yeah. So, you know what? If Nintendo won't do it, I guess we'll do it. So, yeah. What you're going to need is you're going to need a GBA backup tool, which I'm at the download page for right here. It's gamebrew.org/wiki/GBA backup tool. You're also going to need an R4 card, which I have that here. And then you're going to need either the original DS or DS Lite. I have one right here, and yeah, the hinge is cracked on it. And yeah. So you're also going to need a Nintendo Switch with Homebrew. This Nintendo Switch is the Fuse JLA vulnerable kind. And no, this is not a spicy pillow. What you see here, that is a DIY battery mod. And speaking of DIY mods, I made my own Fuse dongle for it as well. Yeah, but if your Switch is not Fuse JLA vulnerable, as long as you know how to solder, at least, you're not out of luck. Because there are mod chips you can use. And soon I'm going to put a video on how to install one that was on my Discord. Putting it there as I know Nintendo ninjas might raid my YouTube channel if I put it on my YouTube channel. So, yeah. Don't want that happening. So yeah, you see this is the SD card for the R4 card that we have in the reader right now. So we plug it into the computer. Yes, my computer's in Spanish. Don't judge me. Yeah, not sure you guys knew, but I'm somewhat bilingual. Yeah, so download GBA backup tool, and do I have P7 installed? I hope I do. Why? Why put a zip file into a 7-zip file? That's stupid. That's redundant. Okay, now that we unpacked that very stupidly structured archive, we go to where we unpacked it, which is right here, and then we unpack this archive. And, actually, I did quick extract here, so, what? Oh, it had some, like, unsupported characters, that's why I did that. Okay, so you take the config file and the Homebrew app, because I know INI is a file extension used in config files, which, fun fact, that file extension used to be used to configure Windows boots, and that's the reason why INI stands for initialization. But now it's just used as a config file for anything. So now we eject the drive, unplug it, and then we put it back into the R4 card. And then, remember, your R4 card has to be in ROM loading mode. It cannot be in NTR boot mode. That is if yours supports NTR boot, which this one does. So we do that, and we put this in the other slot. It goes in this way, yeah. There we go. Now boot the console, and hope it reads the R4 card, since this R4 card needs some pin cleaning, and it did. And yeah, now that you got that taken care of, go into GBA backup tool.nds, and then hit A. And then we set it to ROM backup. And we press R till this thing down here says ROM backup. And then we press B to back up the ROM. And then press A to run the backup tool. And now I guess the only jump cut we'll do in this is I'll pause the recording right now while you wait for it to back up. Okay, so the reason for that being the only jump cut in this entire video is basically to show that this will not include any piracy in this video. We'll use a legitimately backed up ROM. Okay, but now that the ROM's backed up, now here is what we do. So you gotta make sure that you have the Homebrew App Store on your Nintendo Switch. I mean, I'll redo, but I guess I'll show how to install it, just in case you don't. You go apps.4users.org/switch, and then you search App Store, and you should find the Homebrew App Store. Thing is, I already have it, but still, I'll just walk you through what you do. You do App Store. You download appstore.zip, and then basically you extract this Switch folder to the root of your SD card, but I already extracted it to root of my SD card, so I'm not going to do it again, obviously. But yeah, you know, while you're at it, you could also download the GBA emulator from here as well. I mean, I'm actually going to download it from the Homebrew App Store just to show you what that's like. And, by the way, I do not recommend using 90DNS to block updates. I recommend using Atmosphere's DNS MITM to do it, as I've seen 90DNS just make all internet connections stop working rather than just Nintendo services. Like, I've seen the Homebrew App Store fail to connect because of it. So you see, we got the Joy-Con here, and then we hold volume up and power, and that should boot the Switch into RCM. And then we take the custom built dongle, plug it in, and then yeah, you can see that I have Argon NX as the payload on it, which that's a good payload to have on a mod chip. And then yeah, you see, oh shit, I forgot to copy something over to the SD card. Hang on a sec. Yeah, how can I forget this? I literally forgot to copy the GBA ROM over. That's pretty ridiculous. Okay, sorry, I just turned off my Switch, so I can fix that. So yeah, we'll get another SD reader. You see, we got two of them here, and just ignore that. It still works. It doesn't stay in as well, but it still works. with those USB pins exposed. Yeah, you can see this is USB 2.0 because, like, the exposed pins tell you it's USB 2.0 because those are USB 2.0 pins there. But yeah, okay. So, yeah, you gotta plug both the R4 SD card and the Switch SD card into the computer. Plug both of them in. And now we'll go GBA backup. And you see there's that GBA ROM we dumped. So then we copy and paste it onto the SD card. I have some very weird stuff on this SD card. You can just ignore it. And now we put the Switch SD card back into the Switch, and yeah. Sorry, just gonna go through that whole process of booting the Switch into Atmosphere again, where I was in Argon NX and chose Atmosphere. Okay, so we got the Switch right here. Yeah. Remember, I'm not having jump cuts in this just so you can see that the ROM isn't pirated and that's just, you know, straight up dumped from a legitimate cartridge. And the cartridge looked a little bit weird. That was because I did a DIY battery replacement in it, where I didn't have one of those, like, mounting bracket things on the replacement battery, but it was still the right kind of CMOS battery, so I just, yeah. So you want to go to the Homebrew App Store. But yeah, I soldered wires, that's what I did, and protect it with Captain Tape. Okay, we got that. Let's see. What do we want? It was in the emulators category. Download MGBA. That's this emulator right here. And then, so what you do is you quit out and, yeah, like I said, Iwata's probably flipping Furukawa off from heaven. But yeah, you launch MGBA. Which, just like Minecraft, has never gotten a major update. Seriously. Then let's load the ROM. And there you go. You're now playing a GBA Pokemon game on your Nintendo Switch. Nintendo, hire this man. But, you know what that means. Until next time, TM Combusters, electrify your life. Combust the TMs!